Here's the bottom line, and I say this, and this is going to be a tough needle for me to thread.
Uh-oh, I like it.
But I have a ton of respect for what Jerry Jones has done in the National Football League.
Yeah.
He has helped to elevate the entire sport. He has forced his partners to think more like business people.
Right.
And he's had to ruffle a lot of feathers to get to where the sport is. And he presided over a great run with a team that was built before the players had the leverage that comes from free agency. They haven't been able to build a champion since free agency took root. And I think fundamentally the problem is that Jerry and Stephen Jones, as much respect as I have for both of them and what they've done to the sport, and I'll lump Stephen in there as well because he's been there with Jerry and he's doing more and more, and they're building they've built an incredible brand. But when it comes to issues like this, they are cheap, they are short-sighted, and they are not as smart as they think they are. Period. Because they keep screwing these up. Because they wait too long. Their attitude is, when they get in a tough spot, let's just wait. Do you not realize, Jerry and Steven, that by waiting, it's only going to cost you more? It's never going to get cheaper. It's only going to get worse. It started with Dak. It's continuing with CeeDee Lamb. It's going to continue with Micah Parsons. They're going to try to find some other solution that's going to blow up in their face, and they're going to wonder why they can't get them some glory hole.
Yes. I mean, you were threading the needle until you said, not as smart as they think they are. And then you lost it.
That's where I was. I know. That's where I was.
That was where you threaded it, and then it all messed up. It all got frayed.
They're smart, but no. Plenty of people are smart. But being smart allows you to think you're smarter than you are.
Yeah.
It's one thing to be smart and just understand there are limits to my intelligence. There are always going to be people out there smarter than me. Or to say I'm smart and I'm also smarter than you. When you walk around life with that attitude that I'm the smartest guy in the room, First of all, you're not. If you think you are, you've already lost. You've already lost. If you walk around thinking I'm the smartest guy in the room, you're in for a rude awakening.
Definitely.
Well, the Cowboys have gotten some rude awakenings. Because they've thought they're the smartest guys in the room, dealing with Dak Prescott, dealing with CeeDee Lamb, dealing with Micah Parsons, dealing with all these other issues that come with building and keeping a good team together. They think they're smarter than they are. Now I'm throwing even more
the needle's gone. You've ruined the whole thing.
I'm trying to help them.
All right, so what do you think happens here, Mr. Pasta and Meatballs, right? What do you think ultimately happens? Like with these three guys, if you had to look into your crystal ball, right, and here in the next few months, Micah Parsons, CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott, this stew of stars, right, that have got the Cowboys by the kahunas there, and now it's right? What are they going to do? What do you think the Cowboys do ultimately trying to figure out this whole thing here?
First of all, I think that Dak Prescott becomes a free agent next year and is next year's Kirk Cousins.
Okay.
Depending upon whether or not there's a team out there that's willing to break the bank for him. Maybe there will be. All it takes is one. All it takes is one that says, we just need a quarterback, and Dak's done pretty well, and maybe he'd do even better with us than he's done with the Cowboys.
Right.
So I think Dak is on the way out if he finds an offer elsewhere, and I think they're daring him to leave. They're not going to give him $60 million a year or whatever it was going to take to get that cap number way down this year. They're willing to let him hit the market, and that's the way it should be. It's the way it should have been when his rookie contract expired, but for the franchise tag, it would have been that way. So I think he walks. I think CeeDee possibly gets traded, and I think that they find a way to work it out with Micah Parsons because this guy's freaking generational.
Yeah, right,
I mean,
right.
you better, if you didn't authorize or ratify the comments made on your flagship radio station, you better read them the riot act, and you better stand up for your guy and make sure you don't agree with this now, because this is the guy who, we don't like some of the stuff he says. I don't care. And they dealt with a lot worse with Lawrence Taylor, and this guy's this generation's Lawrence Taylor. He's not quite there yet. If the worst thing you got to deal with from your star defensive player who is a generational talent, who could be one of the best ever, is sometimes he stiff arms the media and sometimes he pops off on his podcast or on Twitter, big freaking deal.
Yeah, that's right.
You do everything you can to make the guy happy, and you keep him.
Right, that's right. I mean, he could act like Lawrence Taylor did off the field. That could be a whole different can of worms. All right, so you didn't even chuckle at that. You didn't even hear that. You didn't even listen to that. You didn't even chuckle.
I'm texting with the guy. Texting with the guy who said the thing on the Dallas radio station.
Oh, okay. Either way, you're an asshole. Sorry, London. Nothing. Don't worry about it.
What did you say?
Yeah,
something about a can of worms.
Yeah, whatever.
Is it a kerfuffle about a can? Are we going to have a kerfuffle today?
Nope, we're not.
Somebody pointed out to me yesterday.
Yeah.
When I brought up our fight from Thursday, you really didn't want to talk about it, and it caused them to infer that you really were pissed off on Thursday.
Oh, no, not at all. I don't know why they would have thought I didn't want to talk about it yesterday. I wasn't like that. Sometimes I just think I'm in morning grouchiness still, and like my face gives like mean looks, and I'm not really being mean, but I'm still waking up and a little groggy, and I might look like that because I do watch videos of us sometimes and go, man, I should smile a little more. Why am I like so serious there, listening to you, thinking, and I'm not nothing mean thoughts going through my head, but I'm just thinking and waking up, and I think sometimes I come off that way.
Well,
but no.
Anyway,
but your point though is right. I mean, Micah's generational, and my point was Micah and what he's doing off the field. I said he could be acting like Lawrence Taylor. That could be a whole lot worse with a whole different can of worms if he was acting like that off the field, right?
He has yet to show up for a team meeting in handcuffs.
And in handcuffs. We haven't seen that yet. So
not from an altercation with police either.
An altercation with somebody else. Right.
Yeah.
But either
something
way,
he actually paid for.
But either way, I would agree with you there. You're right. I think CeeDee's the one that's really interesting as we go here. What they try to do and what's that sweet spot if they do keep him for paying him. Right, because there is a lot of to balance there. We talked about that. But Micah Parsons, I'm with you, right, where we talk about, okay, Tyreek Hill, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, A.J. Brown are in a class of their own at receiver. Micah's one of those guys on the defensive side of the ball, to your point, where it was, it's T.J. Watt, it's Aaron Donald, it's Micah Parsons, and Myles Garrett. And, let's go from there. And then there's the rest of the NFL, And that's how special he is, let alone I think he might be at the top of that class right now as far as the guys we're talking about. I know the Watt brothers would have something to say about that, but either way, it's in a class of its own up there with the elite of the elite. And, yeah, I would think they got to get him done at some point here. And if I'm him, that position, what he plays, everything he's asked to do, as kamikaze as he is, he's a guy that I would definitely say don't step on a field until you get the long-term contract.
Especially now because he's eligible for the contract now. I thought he'd be the first one. I'm still waiting for the first guy who says, and this is a risky move, but maybe we'll evolve to the point one day where the media and the fans will appreciate and respect when this happens. The window opens for your second contract at the conclusion of your third regular season. One of these days, there's going to be a guy who says, I want my contract before I set foot on the field for a playoff game after my third season. One of these days, someone's going to do it. And I thought maybe Micah Parsons would do it. And you can lay the foundation for the contract ahead of time. You just can't sign it until after that final regular season game of your third season. And I thought maybe there would be a push to do that for Parsons because he plays a position that entails a higher risk of injury than quarterback or receiver, the other two positions for the Cowboys we've been talking about today. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.